Do your students know why they're going to be performing? If you are like most music teachers, you are probably getting a bunch of performances ready right now. And for kids, I would say probably 10 or older, they actually really want to know the why. They want to know actually why behind everything. Give them the backstory. They love backstory. So let's talk about why music performance is one of the best things you can possibly do. If you've read my book, this one right here, this Making Musicians book, if you've read it, then you know that the second chapter is way too long. But what it does is it actually breaks down everything that you want to get out of being a musician. So it tells you about all the traits that you get uniquely and most intensely in a music classroom: bravery, community, passion, those sorts of things. Today, I want to talk particularly about bravery and community. We talked about that a little bit with Renata last week, but I want to get deep into it here. I often will say to my students when we're sitting here or when we're in the classroom, I will say, did you know that the same area in your brain that registers that you're naked is where music lives in your brain? They're very close and tight-knit areas. The way that you feel if you were to just be naked in front of somebody is very similar to the way that we feel when we make music in front of somebody. That takes so much bravery. Now, here's the thing about bravery. The definition of bravery is doing something while you're afraid. So for example, I have a fear of flying, which is unfortunate because I fly a lot. Every time I get on a plane, I am practicing bravery. And as I practice bravery, I actually have a little less need of bravery every time I get on the plane because I get a little less afraid every time. Now, here's the thing. Playing music is one of the best ways for you to practice is one of the best ways for your students to practice intense bravery. Intense bravery, because again, if you're standing in front of somebody feeling naked, that takes a lot of bravery because you feel afraid while you're doing it. By performing, your students are actually able to practice being very brave. So you should actually have them practice doing these bravery exercises beforehand. One of the things that I often do in class is that I will have students volunteer to stand up and do as much music as they can solo facing the group. That takes a little bit of bravery. Once students have performed solo, what you will do is you will have the class essentially clothe them. They've just been really vulnerable. You're going to have everybody clap for them. Then you're going to say 3 things that they did really well, and you're going to say, that bravery muscle in you just got a little bit stronger. Well done. I'm proud of you. That sort of thing. If you have enough students doing that, when they get to the actual performance, that sensitivity, that fear will be decreased in all of them, and they will know what bravery actually is and be able to experience what bravery actually feels like. Now, community. Community is a really interesting one, and I'd like you to point this out to your students as much as you can before your performance. There was a study done at Goldsmith University in London where they did essentially scans of the brain as much as they could while people were singing together. And what they found was that when people sing together, the mother, baby, and familial bonding areas of the brain start lighting up and activating. So that actually, when you're singing together particularly, but also just making any noise that blends, you are creating a deep community sense with the people that you are making music with. Now, as Renata said last week, you can actually make that happen between an audience and a performer as well. So what I'd love for you to do is I'd love for you to get your kids in their imaginations, another major trait of musicians. And I want you to get them in their imaginations and imagine how they want the audience to feel while they are making the music. And then if you can, have them reverse engineer. What in the music do you want them to feel? What part makes you feel? And how do you want that to come across to the people that we are going to be performing for? I'd love to hear how these conversations go with your class. Good, bad, or ugly, no matter how it went, I want to hear about it. Join our Facebook group. We're going to be communicating, chatting about all of this stuff. I'm on there all the time. Can't wait to see you. And the training is still available until the 16th. Guys, this is the time to get it. This is the only time it's going to be this inexpensive. So if you are even casually thinking about getting it, now is the time, because the price is going to go back up April 17th. I can't wait to hear from you. Look forward to hearing from you, and go get that training. You won't regret it.